Hello, America. Listen up. We are on the brink of a national crisis, and most people are completely unprepared. Right now, millions of families across the United States are struggling to put food on the table. This isn't fear-mongering. It's a reality that's getting worse by the day. Food insecurity is skyrocketing. Inflation is out of control. Supply chains are breaking down. And the cost of even the most basic groceries is spiraling higher and higher. And here's the cold hard truth, it's not going to get better anytime soon. In today's video, we're not just talking about minor inconveniences or isolated shortages. We're talking about 9 critical foods that could disappear from shelves entirely next month. These are staples, items you probably use every day, and if you're not prepared, you could find yourself scrambling, paying ridiculous prices, or going without altogether. This isn't someone else's problem. This is happening in our own neighborhoods, our own communities. Families across the country are already cutting back, skipping meals, and relying on food banks that are themselves running out of supplies. We're standing on the edge of a food crisis that could impact every single one of us. So, if you've been ignoring the warning signs, thinking this is just a blip or that the shelves will magically restock, you're making a huge mistake. Stay with us as we walk you through these 9 foods that are about to vanish. This isn't just about convenience, it's about survival. And the time to act is right now. Let's get started. Number 1, pasta sauce. Pasta sauce is more than a pantry item. It's the heart of countless meals across America. Whether it's spaghetti night with the kids, a comforting lasagna for Sunday dinner, or a quick and easy pizza, pasta sauce is a cornerstone of our food traditions. But right now, this kitchen staple is at risk of disappearing from shelves. And the reasons are staggering. Let's talk about tomatoes, the lifeblood of pasta sauce. Did you know California produces over 90% of the processing tomatoes in the United States? That's right, the same state that's been hit by crippling droughts for years. With water reserves drying up and farmers facing severe restrictions, tomato yields have taken a nosedive. The result? Fewer tomatoes mean less pasta sauce, and when it does show up, the price is skyrocketing. But that's not all. Tomato crops have been under attack from diseases like bacterial spot and early blight, which thrive in unpredictable weather. The plants are literally dying in the fields, leaving farmers scrambling to salvage what little they can. And it doesn't stop there. The rising costs of fertilizer, labor, and transportation are pushing pasta sauce prices through the roof. Shipping delays mean fewer jars are making it to your local grocery store. Even the glass jars and metal lids used for packaging are harder to source thanks to global supply chain disruptions. What does this mean for you? It means that jar of marinara you used to grab without a second thought might not be there next time. Or it could cost double what you're used to paying. Don't wait until it's too late. Pasta sauce isn't just a convenience, it's a versatile, nutrient-packed food loaded with lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that supports heart health and may even reduce cancer risk. Stock up now, before the shelves go bare. Number 2, powdered eggs. Eggs are a breakfast favorite, a baking essential, and a protein powerhouse, but fresh eggs are becoming a luxury many households can't afford. Enter powdered eggs, a game-changer for anyone looking to stock their pantry with a long-lasting, versatile, and nutrient-packed alternative. Here's the reality. The U.S. egg industry is in crisis. Millions of chickens have been culled due to the avian influenza outbreak, which has devastated poultry farms across the country. This isn't just a minor disruption, it's a catastrophe. With fewer hens laying eggs, supply has plummeted, and prices for fresh eggs have soared to record highs. Now, think about this. Fresh eggs only last a few weeks in your fridge, and they require refrigeration. But powdered eggs? They can last up to a decade when stored properly. A decade! That's food security you can count on no matter what happens next. Powdered eggs aren't just convenient. They're packed with the same high-quality protein, vitamin D, B12, and choline that make fresh eggs a nutritional powerhouse. Scrambled eggs? Check. Pancakes? Check. Baking? Absolutely. You can use powdered eggs in virtually any recipe, and they taste just as good as the fresh variety. Here's the kicker. As egg shortages continue and transportation costs soar, even powdered eggs are becoming harder to find. Once they're gone, they're gone. If you don't have powdered eggs in your stockpile yet, now is the time to act. You'll thank yourself when you're still whipping up fluffy omelets and pancakes months or even years down the road. Number 3, sugar. Let's talk about Sugar America. It's in everything from your morning coffee to your favorite baked goods. It's more than just a sweet treat. It's a cornerstone of modern cooking and food preservation. And yet, sugar is on the brink of becoming a luxury item. Here's what's happening. The global sugar market is in complete turmoil. The world's largest producers, countries like Brazil and India, are grappling with extreme weather events. Droughts, floods, and unseasonal weather have slashed sugarcane and sugar beet yields, leaving the global supply in tatters. And it's not just the weather. The rising cost of fertilizers, fuel, and labor has made sugar production more expensive than ever. Add to that the surge in demand from food and beverage companies, and you've got a perfect storm that's driving prices higher and higher. And now, let's bring it home. In the U.S., the cost of sugar has been climbing steadily, and it's only going to get worse. Why does this matter? Because sugar isn't just about sweetening your coffee or baking cookies. It's a critical ingredient in food preservation. Think jams, syrups, and canned fruits. It's also used in alcohol production and even in fermentation processes for foods like yogurt and bread. And here's something you might not know. Sugar has an indefinite shelf life when stored properly in a cool, dry place. That means it's one of the most reliable items you can add to your emergency stockpile. But here's the catch. Sugar supplies are shrinking and prices are surging. If you don't act now, you could find yourself paying triple the price, or worse, staring at empty shelves. Don't underestimate the importance of sugar. Whether it's for baking, preserving, or just adding a touch of sweetness to tough times, having a stockpile of sugar could make all the difference. Number 4, flour. Flour is the backbone of American kitchens. It's the ingredient that builds our bread, thickens our gravies, and forms the foundation of almost every baked good we love. But here's the alarming truth. The global flour market is under siege, and this staple is at serious risk of disappearing from store shelves. Let's get straight to the point. The world's wheat supply is in turmoil, and it's hitting closer to home than you might think. Ukraine and Russia, two of the world's largest wheat exporters, are locked in a devastating conflict, disrupting the global supply chain. The war has stalled exports, reduced harvests, and sent wheat prices soaring to record highs. And it's not just geopolitics, climate change is wreaking havoc too. In the U.S., major wheat-producing states like Kansas and North Dakota are struggling with droughts, heat waves, and extreme weather, slashing yields and forcing farmers to scale back planting. Globally, similar disasters are unfolding in Canada, Europe, and Australia. Why does this matter to you? Because less wheat means less flour, and the flour that does make it to the shelves is getting more expensive by the day. You might have already noticed smaller bags, higher prices, or even empty shelves in your local grocery store. This isn't a fluke, it's a warning sign. Here's the kicker. Flour is one of the most versatile staples you can have. It's not just for bread, it's for pancakes, cookies, thickening sauces, making tortillas, and more. When the world feels uncertain, a bag of flour can mean homemade comfort, affordable meals, and reliable sustenance. But remember this, flour doesn't last forever unless you store it properly. While it's good for up to a year in a cool, dry place, you can extend its life significantly by freezing it or sealing it in airtight containers. And don't just stop at all-purpose flour. Stock up on whole wheat, almond, coconut, and other specialty flours to give yourself more options. If you don't act now, you could find yourself paying double, or worse, staring at empty shelves. The shortages are already brewing, and when they hit, it won't just be an inconvenience. It'll be a crisis. Get ahead of it, stock up, and ensure your family has what they need when it matters most. Number 5, canned fish, tuna, salmon, sardines. Americans, let's get serious about protein because canned fish is in trouble. Right now, the global fishing industry is fighting a losing battle against climate change, overfishing, and tightening regulations. And if you think this doesn't affect your local grocery store, think again. First, let's talk about overfishing. Global fish stocks are being depleted faster than they can replenish. We're not talking about a small dip in numbers, we're talking about fisheries collapsing. Tuna populations, for example, have dropped so low that major fishing regions are implementing strict quotas. Pair that with climate change warming the oceans, disrupting ecosystems and pushing fish populations further away from traditional fishing zones, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Canned fish is a lifesaver for your pantry. Tuna, salmon, and sardines are packed with high-quality protein, essential omega-3 fatty acids, and vitamins like B12 and D. These nutrients aren't just nice to have, they're critical for brain health, heart function, and even your immune system. Now here's the reality. The price of canned fish is going up and supplies are dwindling. Rising fuel costs for fishing boats, supply chain disruptions, and increased demand mean you'll soon see fewer options and higher price tags. And if that's not enough, aluminum shortages are making the cans themselves harder to produce. Stock up now. Canned fish has a shelf life of 3 to 5 years, and it's one of the most versatile proteins out there. You can eat it straight from the can, toss it in salads, or use it in casseroles. When fresh protein sources become scarce or unaffordable, you'll be glad you've got a pantry stocked with tuna and salmon. Number 6. Dried fruits. America, we're facing a silent crisis in dried fruits, and it's hitting harder than most people realize. Dried fruits like raisins, apricots, and cranberries aren't just tasty snacks. They're nutritional powerhouses. They're loaded with fiber, vitamins, and natural energy, making them a perfect addition to any pantry. But the reality is this: dried fruits are becoming harder to find and more expensive than ever. Why? It starts with the fruit itself. Take California, for instance, a leading producer of dried fruits. Years of severe drought, water shortages, and scorching heat have decimated crops like grapes, apricots, and cherries. Farmers are struggling to maintain orchards with limited water resources, and yields are plummeting. On top of that, the global supply chain for dried fruits is in shambles. Transportation delays and rising fuel costs mean that even when the fruit gets harvested, getting it processed and shipped to your local grocery store is a logistical nightmare. Add to this the increased demand for healthy snacks, and it's clear why shelves are starting to look empty. Here's the kicker: dried fruits last 1 to 2 years, or longer if stored properly, making them an ideal emergency food. They're lightweight, easy to store, and incredibly versatile. Whether you're snacking on them straight, mixing them into oatmeal, or baking them into breads and cookies, dried fruits are a must-have. But if you don't stock up now, you might soon find yourself paying double or triple for a bag of raisins, or not finding them at all. Number 7. Nuts and nut butters. Listen up, America. Nuts and nut butters aren't just snacks, they're survival foods. They're rich in healthy fats, protein, and essential nutrients, and they have an incredible shelf life. But here's the deal: nuts are becoming a luxury item and the prices are climbing fast. Why? The nut industry is being squeezed from all sides. California, the top producer of almonds and walnuts, has been hammered by historic droughts and water restrictions. Do you know how much water it takes to grow almonds? It's over a gallon per almond, and when water is scarce, almond trees are the first to suffer. The same goes for peanuts, which are facing declining yields due to rising temperatures and unpredictable rainfall in the southeast. And then there's the production process. From harvesting to roasting to packaging, every step of the nut supply chain has been hit by rising costs. Labor shortages, fuel price hikes, and supply chain delays mean that even if the nuts are grown, getting them to market is a whole other challenge. Nut butters like peanut butter and almond butter are faring no better. Rising ingredient costs and production delays are pushing prices higher, and shortages are already starting to appear in some regions. Why does this matter? Nuts and nut butters are some of the most versatile and nutrient-dense foods you can have in your stockpile. They're perfect for snacking, baking, and even cooking. And they're an excellent source of plant-based protein, which will be essential if fresh meat supplies become limited. But here's the catch. If you wait too long, you might not find these items at all, or you'll pay through the nose for them. Number 8. Canned soups and stews. In America, let's talk about comfort food in a crisis. Canned soups and stews are more than just convenient. They're lifesavers when times get tough. They offer a complete meal in a can, often with a mix of vegetables, meats, and grains. But here's the problem. This go-to emergency food is in trouble. The canned food industry is under unprecedented pressure. Rising production costs for ingredients, packaging, and transportation are making it harder for manufacturers to keep up with demand. And let's not forget the aluminum shortage that's making cans harder to produce. What's worse, climate change is disrupting the crops that go into these soups. Vegetables like potatoes, carrots, and beans are facing smaller harvests due to extreme weather. And let's not even get started on the meat supply. Chicken, beef, and pork are all becoming more expensive and harder to source. Canned soups and stews are a pantry staple for a reason. They last 2 to 5 years on the shelf, require minimal preparation, and can be a lifesaver in an emergency. Plus, many of them are fortified with extra vitamins and minerals, making them a nutritious choice when fresh produce isn't available. But here's the deal. These products are already getting pricier, and some brands are disappearing from shelves altogether. If you rely on canned soups and stews as part of your emergency food plan, don't wait to stock up. A little planning now will save you from a lot of stress later. Number 9. Dried pasta. Pasta isn't just food, it's a survival essential. When times get tough, dried pasta is what keeps families fed and morale high. But America, the pasta aisle is at risk. And if you don't take this seriously, you might find yourself without this comforting, versatile staple when you need it most. Here's the situation. Pasta is made from wheat, and the global wheat supply is in a free fall. The conflict in Ukraine, a major wheat exporter, has thrown the global grain market into chaos. Combined with poor harvests in other wheat-producing regions due to climate change, the result is higher prices and dwindling supplies. But it doesn't stop there. The cost of producing pasta has also skyrocketed. Rising fuel prices are making transportation more expensive, labor shortages are delaying production, and even the packaging, like the cardboard boxes or plastic bags your pasta comes in, is harder to source. The numbers don't lie. Pasta prices have already increased by as much as 20% in some areas, and experts warn this is just the beginning. Some brands are cutting back production, while others are quietly reducing portion sizes. You might not notice it now, but by next month, those pasta shelves could start looking very empty. Here's why this matters. Pasta is one of the most reliable, long-lasting staples you can have in your pantry. It's cheap, for now. It's easy to store, and it pairs with just about anything. Sauces, vegetables, canned meat, you name it. A single serving of pasta provides enough carbohydrates for energy, plus protein and essential nutrients like iron, folic acid, and thiamine. Dried pasta can last 2 to 3 years in your pantry, but if you store it in an airtight container, you can stretch that even further. And don't just stick to spaghetti. Think about stocking up on a variety of shapes and sizes to keep your meals interesting. Penne, elbow macaroni, farfalle, they all serve different purposes in your kitchen, and having variety can keep meal fatigue at bay. But let's be real, the time to act is now. The wheat shortages aren't going away anytime soon, and as supplies dwindle, prices will keep climbing. Don't wait until you're standing in the grocery store staring at empty shelves. A well-stocked supply of pasta isn't just about convenience, it's about food security for your family. Thank you for watching and staying informed about this critical issue. Food insecurity and potential shortages are not just problems happening far away. They're affecting families across our nation. Now that you know what to look out for, it's time to take action. Whether it's stocking up on essentials, supporting local food banks, or spreading the word, every step we take can make a difference. Let's stay informed, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay united as we face these challenges together. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.